What's up, everybody? Happy Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. Shout out to all my cuties, aka cuties, Cuties, aka QTEES. Is it EES? Yes. My name is Quincy, and I'm the host and founder of Studio Q, extreme Whitney Houston fan. I like to give a shout out to everybody who's watching on For the Love of Whitney, everybody who's watching on YouTube, all of my subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. All those who are watching on Soul TV, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on the replay or hearing this on the podcast later, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. The reason I'm going live today is because it is a celebration of Whitney's debut album. On this day in 1985, Whitney Houston entered the world of music. Now, of course, us fans know she had been singing with Sissy for a minute and had some professional things going on way before her debut album. But the Whitney Houston album, I'm wearing the shirt now. Y'all see? Y'all see? Let me bring this down. Y'all see? It's my favorite album. Okay. Uh that's what introduced us all to the to Whitney Houston. Like, most of us, the majority of the world, was that was that album. And today is 39 years old. It's the 39th anniversary. It's my favorite album. On the album is my favorite song, The Greatest Love of All. So I said, well, let me go live for a little bit today and celebrate Whitney's iconic debut album. It's one of the greatest albums of all time. Okay. She's on the list of it being one of the greatest debut albums of all time. And then I think it's the greatest female album of all time. It's 14 times platinum. It's sold over 26 million globally. Okay. And it's 39 years later, and we're still listening to it. So if that's not enough reason to go live and celebrate Whitney, then I don't know what is. And you guys know I interviewed Whitney on MTV. If you don't know, back in 1998, I was chosen by MTV and Whitney Houston to interview her on a show called Fanatic. And one of the classic moments in that is when I'm screaming my favorite song on my favorite album, which is the album we're talking about today, to my favorite singer. So we're going to show that clip, and then I'm going to show you guys in real life, well, as virtual real life as I can, is the album. Let me show you guys. This is the clip from Whitney she was promoting My Love Is Your Love, okay? But y'all know me. I was like, ma'am, I know you got a new album out, but let's talk about this album right here.
Lovely.
Oh, and I know you got a new album.
Yeah.
But bam, I want the old one.
You want the
You know what I'm saying? This is the one I was
You
at
want
the
the slick back
concert like, Whitney, you was like, woo, you brought out the old pictures.
so that one.
I was like, but this was
Yeah,
mine.
you at the
That was me. That was me. You were singing your fifth album. I was like, no, it's number one. The greatest love of all is inside of me.
Quincy, I love you. You are my kind of spirit.
Really, Quincy? I'm talking to myself. Really, Quincy, yelling in Whitney's face. I'm so glad she embraced my energy and could laugh. And, because that's exactly how I clown with my friends offline and in real life for many, 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 many years. So what a great moment. But today, in terms of Whitney Talk today, it's all about this album. Let me put it up. So my question to you guys is, what's your favorite song on the Whitney album, the debut album? What's your favorite Whitney Houston song? You guys know that Greatest Love of All was a major hit. That's like one of my favorite Whitney Houston videos as well. How Will I Know was a huge hit. And Whitney actually won the Grammy for Saving All My Love for You. At the 28th Grammy Award, she won for Best Pop Female, and it was her very first Grammy. So, Who don't love you, give good love. Y'all see Robin in the background? Come on, Robin. Greatest love of all. I just love that. I just love that. So without further ado, let me say what's up to everybody in the chat who love us some Whitney Houston. Let me say what's up to you guys. George says, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Back to you, George. I appreciate you coming through. Ron said, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Whitney's debut album. I wasn't into her then, but I love this album outside the few pop songs. I wish them duets could have been with Luther instead of Jermaine. But, I think that Luther wasn't, up here at the time. Jermaine Jackson, Teddy Pendergrass, Clive got the people who were popping at the time. So I wish we just had any kind of duet with Luther, regardless if it was her debut album or her last album, well, not her last album because Luther had passed away by then, but I wish they had done a duet just in their musical life. It would have been awesome. Oh, let me show you guys the album in person. I just took it off the wall. Okay. The ring light. Okay. This is the infamous album that I said bam to Whitney. I'll read it to you. She put to Quincy, peace Whitney, I love you, friend. And then I wrote in there 1998 so I wouldn't forget, just in case I get Alzheimer's as an old woman. Ooh, did I just nick this? Okay, no, it's fine. So I'll put that back up later. I just wanted to show you guys in real time the album. Happy Valentine's Day. Back to you, Princess Amani. Thank you for watching the For the Love of Whitney documentary. If you guys haven't seen it, it's available for anybody on Patreon all of February for Black History Month and to honor the 12th anniversary of Whitney's passing. Okay, so you guys can watch that. It's nothing but love. It's the best thing you've never seen about Whitney if you've never seen it. If you guys want to go live and tell me what your favorite Whitney song is on this album, you must go to Patreon, join for free, and the link to come on screen is on Patreon. It's in my very last post. This is actually probably streaming live in Patreon right now, but in the actual post is the YouTube link to watch this, as well as the StreamYard link to come on live. So once I say what's up to everybody, if you want to just tell me what your favorite song on this album is in the chat and not come on the screen, that's perfectly fine too. But if you want to come on and chat with me about this particular album, you got to go to Patreon. Let me put my Patreon link in. I always say go to Patreon, then I don't tell y'all how to get there. Walk on by. Okay, let's see. Where is it at? Where's Patreon? Okay, here it is. Okay. So you must go to Patreon. You don't have to pay to get the link or nothing. It's free. You also can watch the documentary for free. It's in the pinned post at the top of the page. So everything's there. So I just put the Patreon link in there. So anybody who wants to come on screen and talk about their favorite song on Whitney's debut album, which we're celebrating in this moment, 39 years later, like that's the mark of an icon. 39 years later, we're talking about her debut album. She's been gone physically since 2012, and we still got people in the room who want to chat about Whitney. That's the mark of an icon, people. That's the mark of an icon. Okay. What's up, Pooh? Happy Valentine's Day. Back to you too. Question to all in the chat. How old were you when Whitney's debut album came out? I was 11. Good question, Pooh. What's up, Ashley? How are you? What year did it come out? It came out in 1985. Will Wise in the building. Happy Valentine's Day, love. Happy Valentine's Day back to you. Thank you for coming through. Ashley said, I wasn't even born yet when it came out. That's okay, because you caught up quick. You caught up quick. You in a chat for an album and a person who sang it who's no longer here, and you weren't even born when it came out. Come on. Talk about receipts. What's up, Kofi? How are you? Hold Me is my song. Come on now. Hold Me with Teddy Pendergrass and Whitney. Love it. Love it. What's up, Vanessa? Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Sending love and light to all of you guys on this Sweethearts Day, okay? This Sweethearts Day. What's up, Space Signs? Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. What's up, Pam in the building? Hey, Quincy, happy Valentine's Day, sweetie. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, Pam. What's up? It's the gorgeous Kel in the building. Happy Valentine's Day, beautiful Q. No, happy Valentine's Day back to you, beautiful Kels. I love the love, you guys. Just saying happy Valentine's Day and sending you guys love, feels good. It's all warm and fuzzy. Okay. All right. Um, Kavan says, hey, is it Kevin? Is it Kevin? Or Kavan? Look, I'm trying to make you be babyface, brother. Kavan Edmonds. Kevin, you all know what I noticed about Whitney on her debut album. No, what, Kevin? Is she had a athletic voice. Take away 2 or 3 pop songs. Remember, this is when you bought them every Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to need you to expand on that. I never heard of anybody being described of having an athletic voice. So please expound, okay? How old were you when her debut came? I was 11. How old were you, Kevin? How old were you? Where is Ty so he can celebrate being the same age as this album? You got a good memory, Ashley. I don't know where Ty is. Y'all know I don't be keeping tabs on him, okay? He come through. He drop all his shenanigans and drop out. I love him when he's here. When he got other stuff to do, that's cool. Ain't no telling. He don't know we was going live, though. If he would have knew, he might come through. But shoot, I don't know what his schedule. What's up, Monique? How are you? Good to see you, Monique. George, bam! Exactly. What's up, Kyrie? Q, what did Whitney say to you when you almost... Okay, thank you for pointing it out. Kyrie, god dang. Not almost, but I know. All I did was hit her lip with the album, and I didn't do it on purpose, okay? Y'all hilarious. When you almost headbutted each other. No one can figure it out. Her voice went low. What did she say? Okay. She said, what did she say? She's like, I was about to say that right now. That's what she said. Because that was a real story. Of course, we didn't remember. She just was playing along. But that was a real story when I was at the concert. And I was like, Whitney is, but, and I was like, oh, I bought out the old pictures. No, because that's what Whitney said at the concert. Oh, you done bought out the old pictures. And Whitney said, I was about to say that right now. So she was just confirming that what she said then was true and what she was saying right now. Like, what you coming here with this old album in here? I'm like, this ain't old. This is a classic. This is iconic. Okay, you got the My Love Is Your Love. I understand that, Miss Houston. But what we gonna do is recognize the number one record that made me fall in love with your voice, your talent, your essence, your persona. It was that one. That's why it's my favorite album, because without that album, I wouldn't know who Whitney Houston was in the way that I come to know her. I'm sure I would have learned, but this is the album that captured my heart, my attention, and I became a real big fan after this album. So it's my fave. So I was like, let me go and celebrate my favorite album. And me and Whitney Houston got the same favorite song on the favorite album, which is The Greatest Love of All. And come on. I love that she liked The Greatest Love of All over I Will Always Love You. I was very shocked by that because, I Will Always Love You. Shout out to Dolly Parton who wrote it. But that's like, Whitney's summit. That's the iconic mountain of her career is The Bodyguard, I Will Always Love You. So, it was cool that The Greatest Love of All, was her favorite. Mine too. Happy Valentine's Day. It's Yoli. What's up, Yoli? Happy Valentine's Day to you too. I hope you had a good one or are having a good one as it's still Valentine's Day. Greatest Love of All. That's mine too, Space Signs. Ooh, You Give Good Love was my cut and still is. And don't you like The Dreamer how no matter where she sings it, how she sings it, and what venue, and what on what continent, and it sounds different, but the same. Like, man, Whitney is just brilliant like that. You're never gonna hear her sing the same song twice. Never, ever, ever. But yeah, You Give Good Love is all of that. I love that song. Hey Q, it's me, it's your friend. What's up, Demonta? How are you? Barbara, You Give Good Love. Yes, that's a jam. Okay. Saving All My Love. Hey, that won the Grammy, Ashley. So I can see why you like that one. Was Jermaine Jackson the shit back when Whitney came? Yes, he was. Yes. I wish it was Luther or Peebo Bryson. But yeah, but they weren't popping. Like, Jermaine had a little career. I don't want to say little because he was a Jackson 5. Like, they're iconic. So ain't nothing little about the Jacksons, Michael Jackson, Jermaine. Ain't nothing little about them. But yeah, Jermaine Jackson was. Clive, let me tell you something. That album took like 2 years to cultivate, to come out. And you had Clive Davis, who could get anybody on the radio back then. And so he was going to have who was hot, who was mainstream, who could cross over. Like, it wasn't just music. It was, when you're talking about Clive Davis, you're talking about strategic. Like, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, Jermaine Jackson, he absolutely had a moment and was hot for a period of time. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been on that album, Trust and Believe, at all. Okay. He just wouldn't have been. Happy Quincy Day. Okay, I love that. What's up, Susanna? Happy Valentine's Day to you. What's up, Trish? How are you? Greatest love of all is my favorite too, Ravina. Is it Ravina? Rovina. Y'all forgive me for messing up y'all names. Oh, it's L.A. Rocker, y'all. L.A. Rocker is the psychic medium that's going to come on the show on President's Day next Monday. We're going to be talking to Whitney and whoever else is on the other side. Okay. So get your questions ready. Okay. She's a psychic medium. She's, a serial entrepreneur. What else are you? Because I wrote it down when we spoke earlier today. Intuitive happiness coach, So if that's not your thug thizzle, you know what I mean? If you don't believe in all that or you don't want that, please don't show up, because if you say something crazy, I'm going to block you. Okay. Nobody is going to be disrespected on my platform. So if that's not what you're into, you don't believe in that, that's not how you get down, just don't come, and the replay will be able to be seen on my Patreon. So shout out to you, LA Rocker. I'll be talking to her on Monday. Yeah. So she'll be tuning us into the other side. So get y'all questions, y'all. Get y'all questions. And then if you want her to do a reading on you, she'll tell you how you can do that. All right. So it's going to be fun. You can believe it or not. But one thing we're going to do is have a good time, because she got a wonderful personality. So we're going to do a bunch of laughing. And I told her today, I said, sometimes I believe you and sometimes I don't. But listen, don't think I ain't going to be talking to her about Whitney, because I am. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day, Nippy Cousins. Yes, Dreamer. Happy Valentine's Day to you. You give good love. That's a great one, Rovina. I still feel like I'm messing up your name. Happy Valentine's Day. Well, thank you, Warren. Shout out to Warren Schaefer. Warren Schaefer be liking and commenting on stuff that people pass by a million times. Okay. So I appreciate you, Warren. I see your responses to every post, and I don't take your support for granted. Thank you. Thank you for being a Nippy cousin and supporting the content and being so present. I appreciate you. I do. What's up, Kofi? What's going on? Yes, Vanessa, the greatest love of all. Yes, it's Nippy Elizabeth Miranda from Philly. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, Nippy Elizabeth. Absolutely beautiful. I remember when you said that. Oh, okay. Look, I'm lagging in the comments. What is it? By 10 minutes. So forgive me. Didn't Whitney and Teddy sing that song live? I remember Step by Step said they sung it like he was in the crowd. Yeah, I think he was in a wheelchair off to the side in the because they did a rehearsal, and I think for the actual event, like I think he was there. Yeah, I'm not saying for every performance, but I think there was a performance that Whitney and Teddy Pendergrass did together. I really do. Because I remember singing it on YouTube or something, or posting it. So yeah, Kyrie. AAO is easily alongside what, all at once? Is that all at once, Larry? Child, all these acronyms be getting me. I'm like, what? Okay, so I think that's all at once is easily alongside Greatest Love of All, the biggest Whitney Houston style ballad on the album. All at once is Didn't We Almost Have It All's little sister. That was hard, Larry. Did we almost? Okay. Okay, I feel you. I feel you. All at Once is definitely something, a song that is not played as much as the rest, but is absolutely a banger. It's absolute. But my favorite is The Greatest Love of All. Okay, that's just it. Because not just it's the video, it's the lyrics, it's the fact that it's standing the test of time. All at Once is great too. I love that song, especially when she sang it live. Where's she singing live at? Was that the American Music Awards with that little white outfit on? I mean, Whitney tore it up. Okay. When does she not? When does she not? Paula Marie, when my love affair with Whitney Houston began, her voice was monstrous. Listen, there was never a time that Whitney didn't sound amazing. Okay. She might not have sounded like she was 19 at 42, but there was never a time that Whitney Houston's voice was not monstrous. Let's just be real clear about that. I get what you're saying. There was a decline, but because there were things going on. And Whitney gave it her all. I've talked to musicians who talked about playing behind her and seeing the muscles in her back contract and release because of the type of songs that she was singing. Whitney just didn't go out singing little light songs that were easy. She's singing big ballads, and she's singing them night after night after night after night after night for what, 30 years? So there was never a time for me that Whitney's voice was not monstrous. It might not have been where it was then, but she wasn't 19. She hadn't traveled the world 10 times over. So, I like to be careful with our word choices sometimes when we're talking about my girl, because I'm a Cancer and I get a little attitude. You know what I'm saying? Monique, how is okay? You can talk to Monique. I'm not gonna put that on there. Monique, Kyrie wants to ask you a question. That first album was epic, all hits, love it, right? And you can play it from the beginning to the end. That's what I love about all of her work. The B-side are underrated gems. Okay, the world might not have caught on to them because they had specific singles to put out, but all of them were great. Who is this? Kicking it with Conscious. Hey, I truly respect your work and dedication to your craft and support. Well, thank you. Listen, y'all must know that compliments is part of my love language. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Whitney Brown, so agree with you that your documentary is absolutely fire. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys, if you haven't seen it, it's available through the end of February. It's on my Patreon. I put the Patreon link, after February, it's going to go back and you have to pay $5 a month to access my content, my Whitney content and all of that. Well, we got somebody in the building. Well, come on, Larry. Come on, Larry. See, you got to go to Patreon. So that's how I know you a real one. You done went to Patreon and got the link. Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
And it's free. It's not behind a paywall. Go ahead. What's up, Larry?
Hey. Look, I've been with you since you aired on MTV.
No way.
Since the VCR set.
Come on, Larry.
She gonna be an VCR set. Whitney TV came on right behind you. Yes. I'm that hardcore Whitney fan with you. I'll be 41 on Sunday. I've been with Whitney since I was 2.
Come on, not 2 years old.
2 years old.
How did you know who Whitney? How can you make that claim? Give me a story to go with that claim.
Oh, I got you. So my mama and daddy will tell you, and I'll tell you, when I was 2, VCRs was the new big thing on the playground, right? So they said, you learned how to work a VCR because you was recording Greatest Love of All, you was recording You Give Good Love, you learned how to work a VCR, and you showed us how to work the VCR because you couldn't miss her. They said you would stop. This is the first time you saw Greatest Love of All, you stopped and you cried. And you kept on saying, go back. And that was the beginning of Whitney for me.
Larry, what an amazing story. And I promise you, if TikTok didn't exist, I would not believe you, because TikTok shows how young kids are and mesmerized by it. What a great story. So basically the VCR was for you.
That was for me. If I want to look, we're going to hold on. Alexa, all lights on. We're gonna give you a little Whitney tour.
Oh, come on, Larry.
We're gonna give you just a little of the Whitney tour, right? We're gonna
Look at that. Wait a minute. Go back. Go back.
No.
Wait. Go back. Go back. Go back. What's the lips? What's that from?
You want to dance with somebody, don't you?
I
You want to dance
do.
with somebody. That's
Look
from
how
the
clear
video.
it is. I love that. Keep going.
Come on, hold on. Wait, she's here. She's everywhere.
Oh my God.
She's.
Why are you waking up and going to sleep with Whitney? Oh my gosh, I love it.
She's back here too. So,
You will never have a clock. You will never make your own clock.
yeah.
Larry, you are
Yeah.
blowing my mind right now.
Oh,
You said we don't throw this away as we grow up. We
no.
elevate it.
Oh no, Whitney's everywhere. Whitney's everywhere.
But I like how elegant she is. Like she's just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got that hand painted by somebody.
Wow. I love it, Larry. Look at Larry, for real? Larry, I'm feeling like you feel her spirit there based on just what you showed us.
Oh yeah. I cannot not get away from Whitney. And for me, it's been the greatest love of all. I'm writing a book on the greatest love of all. Because because people don't realize how deep that song is.
Can you give us your take on it? That will, why would you write a book about that, and why don't people get it? Explain.
Okay, so for me, I went through a breakup about 3.5 years ago. One of the worst times of my life. I was with this person for 9.5, 10 years. And all of a sudden they just walk in. I think we need to, separate. And I'm like, we have a house, we got cats, we got all of the things.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here in this apartment now, crying myself to sleep, all the things. There's Whitney, the greatest love. And she's singing. I'm listening to it from Japan in 90, from 91. I'm listening to it from Welcome Home Heroes. I'm listening to it from the Americana Statue of Liberty performance. I'm listening to it from all of these places. Mm-hmm. And finally, one night, I heard what she said. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And then the part that really got me is she said, if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place. And I'm like, I'm in the lonely place right now. But I had to find that strength in love. And then she said something else that was really profound that a lot of people don't get. She said, no matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, right? And then I heard something else in my head say, yeah, they can't take it away, but if you ain't careful, you sure can give it away to somebody.
Look at Whitney talking to you. Look at Whitney talking to you.
And it was from there, I'm like, just listen to what she's saying. She's talking about inner child work. I believe that children are our future. The first child is you.
Thank you.
Teach them well. Some things you got to learn. So you can have your way be led. So you can have your path ordered. Mm-hmm. And so I said, oh my God, there's a book here. And then as I started going through my own healing process and my journey to rebuild myself, it was that song. I began living that song line by line. And I'm like, this song is so profound. We hear a little pop song. It's deeper than a pop song.
Yeah. Amen. Oh my gosh. So it helped you heal. She helped you heal.
100%.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Child, I ain't seen nobody's grown-up house like that. Like you a whole adult. But look, I like how you class it up though. It's not just, a 15-year-old like you're a 15-year-old. It's all elegant. Okay. It's like a museum.
Yeah, and Whitney's gonna be around. Like my fiance said, so when we get our place together, Whitney got to be there. Whitney's gonna be there. Like I'm walking down the aisle after we make love. Like Whitney gonna.
Hey, should that be on the honeymoon, Larry? What you mean? Why are you trying to bring us into the bedroom down the aisle? Larry, she got some other songs, Larry.
Listen, I thought about You Were Loved. I thought about it. I was like, no, but listen to what she's saying. I've been waiting such a long time for a love that's real to come my way. Gonna take some getting used to now that love is here to stay. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk to that.
And look, I guess it is your wedding, Larry.
Look,
I'm acting like I had a vote.
Listen, Listen, I listen to the Whitney fan community. If y'all been like, no, let's try this over here. What about if you say my eyes are beautiful? Let's try that. I listen to you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I thank you. I did not expect the tour. Okay. And the fact that Greatest Love of All is obviously a favorite of yours, or you wouldn't be writing a book.
Yeah, it's like, look, it's on the wall right there. But learning to love yourself is.
Come on. But look, you didn't healed, and now you got a whole other relationship
Mm-hmm.
and about to get married. Look at Valentine's Day, y'all.
Won't he do it?
Won't he?
Day, listen, y'all. It do your work. Do your work. This is what I teach people. This is what I coach people to do.
You're a coach.
I'm a coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a spiritual life coach.
Drop us some gems on Valentine's Day concerning Whitney. Look, mix these things together. Whitney, self-love, self-confidence, and attracting a new chapter, regardless of what it is. If it's love, if it's work, if it's whatever. Go, Larry.
All you got to realize this, that the path to self-love is going to be, you're going to hit some landmines. You're going to hit some trigger points. You're going to hit some things that, man, I don't want to say this out loud. I don't want to deal with this. You're going to attract a lot of people that are not for you, but you got to realize that the people that you're attracting are absolutely necessary. That all those relationships you go through, those false starts. Oh, I thought this was going to be the one. I thought this was going to be the one. It's not so much that you're looking for someone to be the one, because you're the one for you. You got to be the one for you. Can't nobody else come and heal you. Can't nobody else come. I just want someone to take care of me. They can add to you. They can do things for you. They can be an addition to your life. But baby, you are the star of your life. These people are extras and co-stars in your life, but you're the star. So learning to love yourself, all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the stuff that you like. Ain't nobody gonna love me through this. Well, can't nobody love you through it if you ain't gonna love yourself through it. So it's about looking at that. And it's even about, if you look at Whitney's life, I mean, you're talking to somebody who has an encyclopedic knowledge of Whitney Houston's career. Okay. From the time that she was, 13, 14 years old up until the point that she left us. Mm-hmm. One thing that Whitney always maintained is she said, whatever I sing, it's got to be real and I got to feel it in my heart or I can't sing it. So Whitney was already in that aspect. She had that self-love thing on lock. Did she have her struggles? Yes, but you got to remember, people always want to draw attention to her struggles, but they don't understand that her struggles were necessary for who she was. Mm-hmm. So yes, she had some struggles, but guess what? She wasn't exempt from the human experience no more than you and I are exempt from the human experience. She just happened to be the greatest singer that's ever walked this planet or will walk this planet. Preach. But we get to see what happens, if we sometimes don't put our struggles, our things, if we don't give them the attention that they deserve, they will take attention. They will pull focus. So Whitney's life is an example for us to look at and say, you know what? I might have some stuff. It might not be in the same way Whitney had it, but in my own way, it's my own thing. And I had to look at her not as to, I can't believe she did that to herself. She didn't do anything to herself, except she just didn't focus where she wanted to focus because she had everybody pulling on her like this. Mm-hmm. She had everybody, right? Whitney, can you? Whitney, will you? How many people out there watching her? They only call me because they want something. They only call me because they need something. They only call me because... Think about that now. As a multimillionaire, and you can't even go to the grocery store without somebody knowing who you are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's saying, learn to love yourself through it all your flaws, all your things like that. And if you are looking for that mate, you are looking for that person that's like, I need somebody who's going to love me, who's going to be there for me. You are the first person that's going to love you and be there for you. Can't nobody do. You can't give what you don't have, and you can't attract what you don't have. So we're looking for somebody to complete you because you're already complete. Come on. Additions. These people are icing on the cake. These are your ice cream with the cake. You got to have the cake baked yourself.
Come on. You better come through with a word. You better come through with a word on Valentine's Day, because self-love is the best love.
That's the
best love.
Yeah, because there's no way in the world that I would have been ready to let anybody in my life. And after 10 years of being with somebody, having a house, having cats, having everything, I thought we was doing our thing. No, it wasn't right, because even in that 10-year process, I abandoned me along the way. It became me and the other person. I'm not Larry and another person. I'm Larry, and this happens to be the other person that I'm with. And there's a difference. when we're saying you're inviting Larry and somebody, we're inviting Larry and them somewhere. No, you're not inviting Larry and them somewhere. You're inviting Larry and that other person that he happens to be with somewhere.
Ooh, Larry, I got a question for you. Look, I didn't know this was going to turn into Sally, Jesse, and Raphael. But that's what happens when you're a question asker. What is the lesson that took you so long to learn in that 10-year relationship? And if you could go back and give yourself some advice in year 5 or 6, because like, were there things that you missed that now as you reflect back, you go, oh.
Yeah, that one huge thing, and I think a lot of people don't recognize, the day that I sat down on the first date, the very first date, and the moment that I sat on the couch, I can remember it. Everything in my body said, this ain't it.
Wow.
And I said, but maybe I can change it. I can fix. I can be there to help them heal. I can help them grow. I can help them expand. And then here it is 10 years later, and I'm sitting there acting like I'm so shocked that this person is exactly who I thought that they were on day one. So sometimes the hope that that person that we have sitting in front of us is going to be that person. I just want my person. I just want my person. And cloud and even distract away from what I can. If I just help them do this, I've been there for them in this many ways. I've been there for this. I've been there for that. I did this for them. It's not about that. It's not about that. Did you listen to that initial, this ain't it? When you first sat down with
and how about 10 years later, it was confirmed?
Took 10 years.
But what did you learn about yourself in that decade? And how was Whitney Houston a companion in that growth process?
I could not have, number one, the relationship was never what I thought it was going to be. But it was Whitney at every single turn. It was, songs that people don't think of being as inspirational songs, like I Believe in You and Me. And I'm like, how come I can't feel that about this person? How come I look at them and everybody else is listening to these songs like, oh, that's my husband, that's my wife, and they can say these songs, but for me, I'm like, must be nice to feel that way. So I'm hearing all of these things. So, Whitney's a love girl. So she's singing, down to, you can listen to the Christmas album and you can hear she, just that love pouring out of her, even on, things like the first Noel and things like that, right?
Yep.
I'm like, how come I can't relate to this? So for me, it was like Whitney was almost just sitting there nudging, baby, you should be feeling this. You should be able to play all the man that I need and look at your man and say, that is all the man that I need. But you can't do that. You should be able to hit a random Whitney track and you should be able to hear Run to You and be like, oh, I want to run to you.
But you know what? Not to cut you off, but when I'm listening to you, I feel like I Believe in You and Me, Run to You, all of those songs that you should have been thinking about him or making it feel. What if you could have been thinking about you?
Me. I needed to run to me.
Yeah. You needed to believe in you and you.
I needed to believe in me. Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. I settled. I completely settled. There was no physical attraction that I had for the person. There was no mental anything like that. It was just, I think I can make him into what I want him to be. I think I can fix this. There's red
and you abandoned yourself to do it.
100%. I put myself, I'm not going to put as much Whitney stuff up. I'll only put Whitney right here. Oh, I listen to too much Whitney. He don't like me to listen to too much Whitney. Or put on your headphones. All of these things that are non-negotiable. You call anybody on my phone and say, who's Larry's favorite singer? If you don't know that about me, you don't know me.
Come on. That used to be my line. That used to be my line growing up. If you don't know I love Whitney Houston, you ain't met me yet.
Look at what the...
Is that a Whitney Houston tattoo?
That is the...
That's the signature. No, you don't. No, you didn't get inked up.
If y'all don't know...
So your former relationship, thank God that you're gone from that, made you try to suppress your love for Whitney because it agitated them. It was too much. You listen to the same Whitney songs over and over again. I think this person did it as great. I'm glad you do. You're perfectly entitled to feel that, this person's greater or that person's greater, or you need to venture outside of Whitney and look at the Broadway community because there are people there that make Whitney look like a welcome. I'm like, no. I'm like, baby, if you knew that's what you knew. That's what you knew.
But I still stayed in it. Because maybe I can convince him that Whitney, maybe I can And
And plus, you had other things, Larry. I feel like you had other things to learn. That relationship taught you a lot about yourself.
I had a lot to learn. You know, self-rejection and self-abandonment is real. I am a Black gay man in the Midwest. I'm in Southern Indiana. In the Bible, there's more Bibles and there's more churches here than there is anything, right? And I had to learn to, you know, stand in and love myself through all.
Come on.
In the middle. And
well, listen, how do you feel now with somebody, a fiance who loves Whitney, who wants Whitney to be a part of everything, and making those same statements, a gay Black man in the Midwest, but you've come through something, you come back to yourself. It's Valentine's Day. You shown Whitney all through your house. She gonna be a part of the wedding. So tell us what it feels now. And then I'm gonna let you go because I didn't know that this was gonna be a 60 minutes interview with you. I didn't ignore the comments. I don't know what they're saying in the comments. I'm like, and then tell me this.
Look, that's an interview with you. That's that interview spirit in you right there.
I gotta discipline myself because I'll be like, and then what happened, Larry?
I'm gonna shoot you an email after this and be like, okay, we can continue this conversation.
Yeah. DM me on Instagram.
Absolutely. But for me, you know, now this is how I knew my fiance was the one. When he came up here on maybe date number 2 or number 3.
Yeah.
And we were sitting up here and we were just sharing music. And, you know, I'm playing deep album cuts. I love the fans that just know the release tracks. I love y'all. But I'm playing deep album cuts. I'm like, don't nobody know I'm knocking.
Come on.
We know I'm knocking. Right.
Look, where you are. I know.
I know that's on the second album. When he started singing along to tracks like I'm Knocking and Where You Are and knew the next part, and I was like, I said, and then started quoting Wait and Exhale. And I was like, sir, who are you?
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, oh, in the Bodyguard. And I love that, you know, and then he started describing the makeup and the dress, and it's not on TV nowhere. And I'm like,
that's what I'm talking about. So look, if it wasn't gonna be your husband, it was definitely gonna be your best friend, one of the two.
That part. Now we got some work to do. He still ain't seen the preacher's wife yet. I ain't gonna be able to stand for that.
Well, look, that's good because guess what? When he does, you get to watch the preacher's wife for the first time through somebody else's eyes.
Oh, come on, Chills. Yeah, that's right.
Listen, I have a godson who was adopted, and he didn't experience those. So he was 3, so he didn't like going to Target wasn't a big deal. So when I tell you the first 5 years of his life was just I don't know, like Cinderella for me because I got to experience stuff for the first time. He like popcorn. He's like police car, like just everything, you know, was for the first time. So to me, that's what the preacher's wife gonna be when y'all watch it. You can be like, watch this.
And I'm trying to figure out how he skipped over because he's got Sparkle on lock. He's got. I said, everybody ain't in step. He can't be like you, but he damn close. He's up there.
Yes, I love that. Listen, you got. Well, I don't know what your religious beliefs are, but if you come back on Monday and listen in to the because Whitney might have a message for you, Larry.
Listen, well, what your person's gonna be doing on Monday? That is what I do. I promise you. I'm a spiritual.
You got a gift too?
Yeah, I do. And I also read Human Design. If anybody's ever heard of Human Design,
what's that?
Human Design is what will tell you. So everybody's always like, well, life don't come with no instruction manual. What if life does come with an instruction manual? And what if it's shareable? What if it's shareable? There's a specific way that your energy is designed to move through your body. There's a way that my energy is designed to move through my body, and everybody has one, whether you know it or not. And it's working right now in the background, whether you know it or not.
Let me figure out how to download the PDF.
Come on over to my website. I ain't gonna plug it because I ain't gonna take your platform, but you can plug it.
What? No, you can plug it. What is it?
Go to my website, Paralary, P-A-R-A.
You got it on there. You done already. What the hell? You done already plugged it. You good. Paralary.com.
Go to Paralary.com. There you'll see a picture of me all posed up. You see a picture of me posed up right there.
Listen. Make sure you tune in because maybe y'all get the same signs. Y'all, you know what I'm saying?
That part.
Yeah, that's fun. I didn't know you had a gift too.
I'll be look. It'll be a day after my birthday. I'll be tuned in.
Your birthday's coming up. Happy birthday!
My birthday's on Sunday. Thank you.
See, that's why you here. This is divine. This is divine. This is so you be having full blown conversations with Whitney. Then if you got the gift.
Listen, I had somebody tell me that did not know me, and that tattoo was covered up. I was in their environment. They said, "What's your connection to Whitney Houston?" I keep on hearing, "I will always love you," and I'm like, see, because that's the thing about me as a reader. As a reader, I never believe one word that's coming out of my mouth because it's not so big for me that my head's gonna get big about what I'm telling you. Y'all sitting here freaking out as I'm reading. I'm like, for real? And I'm like, oh no, hold on, no. So y'all telling me that, oh my God, you so on point. I'm like, for real? And I never believed me.
Because you're just a vessel.
Correct.
You're just a vehicle.
Correct.
What does Whitney got? Whitney saying anything? She got a word. She got a word.
Listen, that part. I messed my camera up. But
I love it.
But like, have me back home, and I'll tell. Look, because I looked at Whitney's human design chart after she passed away, and when I show it to you in her chart about how you could almost look at Whitney literally lived her human design profile. Whitney was a 4/6 manifesting generator, which is why she had her hands in her own corporation, Brown House, Nippy Inc., and Whitney Productions. Why she was a singer, why she was an actress, why she was a producer, why she was all of these things, because that energy is designed to do a bunch of different things.
Okay.
And, Sunday didn't take off because sometimes we're attracted to something because I'm also that energy profile. We're attracted to something, but we get into it and we're like, and we kind of like take our hands off of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it was designed to light her up. But also Whitney's life, like the subconscious part of her life, was designed to be someone who was a role model. Now you don't get to choose what kind of role model you're going to be. It's not like you're walking around saying, I'm going to be this kind of role model, because Whitney said in the 1993 documentary, I don't want to be considered a role model in perfection, right?
Too heavy. That part.
So she didn't get to choose what kind of role model she was, but even in her death, you get to look back on her, and her life is still teaching people.
Larry, I just interviewed a 16-year-old Brianna Harper who was on America's Got Talent, made it to the semifinals with her uncle JoJo. She was featured in Alicia Keys, handpicked by Alicia Keys, featured in her video. And she's like, I learned from Whitney Houston every day. She's 16. She was 4 when Whitney died. So everything that you're saying is true. And before I let you go, I wanted to comment on something that you said about like all the things that Whitney went through because she was human. Like the way I look at it is, look at what she did despite, like what you just talked about, her human design, despite the addiction, despite whatever trials and tribulations in her marriage, despite whatever pressure she had from being the Whitney Houston. Like, look what y'all got. And y'all, includes me, look what we got.
That
48 years. Like, people will live lifetime after lifetime and won't deliver a tenth of what she delivered, So my thing is, instead of like focusing on, how she did this or why come and da, look what she was able to accomplish in the midst of it all. Come on, Yolanda Adams. Come on, Yolanda Adams. In the midst of it all. That part, so I am just honored to have had this opportunity to talk to you. Like, I didn't know it was going to be a full-blown Ed Bradley, 60 Minutes, Shannon Sharp.
Not Shannon Sharp. Not Shay Shay.
I didn't know this was going to be Club Shay Shay, but Club Shay Shay / Whitney.
Studio Q.
Yeah, Studio Q. But
that's right.
Man, thank you. And you have to come back, because on Patreon, listen, we just sit up and talk and laugh about Whitney and everything. I don't do it like I did it last year. Last year it was every week, you know what I mean? But it was just too draining because sometimes we on there for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I can't sustain that. But every once in a while, come on through.
Absolutely. And like you said, I'll DM you on Insta, and we'll continue this dialogue after.
Yes, at Quincy. Come on.
I got you.
Yes. Thank you, Larry. And listen, happy birthday. Congratulations on the wedding to come.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your home, all that Whitney love, and continue success with your business.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, I didn't abandon the comments. Let me get on back before they be like, "What the hell?"
Sorry, comments. I was the one that gave
listen. This is my show. You ain't got to listen. I'm really playing. Okay, this is my show.
That's right. Look, I was the one that said, you said all them acronyms are too hard, Larry. What are you talking? That was me. I said, my bad.
I was like, God dang. It started to be like homework. And I ain't got time to be Googling stuff in the live stream.
I hear you. I love y'all comments. Thank you, Quincy, for having me. And
thank you.
Thank
yes,
you
please. So the conversation continues, okay?
Absolutely. I got you.
Yes. Happy birthday, Larry.
Thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful. I love meeting new people who love Whitney. I love it. Let me get back to y'all. I did a whole interview with him, but he was a true Whitney fan. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go all the way back up here. Greatest Love of All was the first Whitney song I learned to play on the piano. Okay, Space Signs with the piano skills. I didn't know you knew how to play. Diane Hamilton, I love Whitney and will forever love her and all her work. Same, Diane. Do we have to cam up, kicking it with No. You can come on here and you don't have to turn your camera on. Your camera could be off and you could just talk to me if that's what you want. But you got to go to Patreon to get the link to come on, because I'm not dropping it in the comments. Gotta be part of my Patreon community. Trish says, happy Valentine's Day. Q, one of my favorites is Thinking About I Can't Get You. Come on, Thinking About You. That's a sleeper. Yes, Trish. LA Rocker, 39 years is crazy. It is. But that just tells you how fantastic she is, that 39 years later, she's still relevant. Okay? She's still all of that. What's up, Monique in the building? Monique, all at once. Super Mario Jacko. Okay, that's a cut. That's your favorite on the album. I love that. I Will Always Love You. That was my favorite. Okay, Felita, we talking about the first album now. The first album. We want to know what you feel about the first album, because today in 1985, Whitney Houston released her very first album. Let's see. Space Sign. Linda Creed, who wrote it, was battling breast cancer. She was Space Signs. And I remember in Robin's book saying, this song better go. Whitney saying it, Robin saying it about the success of Greatest Love of All, because I think eventually Linda passed away. And what a great song she wrote. And it did go. Not only did it go with Whitney, I mean, because Whitney did it as that's a cover. George Benson did it first for Muhammad Ali's movie. But we know that song from Whitney, and we still know it 39 years later. So I was 10 years old. Okay, Saving All My Love. All right, Yoli. That was a good one. Justin, Quincy, I was in tears when you told the blind lady on here, you're not going to see, you're going to hear. The nerve of you, but glad she's... Listen, that's just my personality. I don't mean no harm, but I'm going to laugh and make jokes, Justin. Yoli, he talking about you. You took a well. Yoli laughed, okay? I wouldn't have known that if Yoli didn't tell me. But Yoli had a great attitude about me and my shenanigans. Hold up. What about the Hidden Gem, Love Will Find a Way, duet with Dionne? That's beautiful. We're not talking about that, though, today. We're talking to, listen, let me put this on the screen. This is what we're talking about. Today marks the 39th anniversary of Whitney Houston's debut album. So she got a lot of great songs and stuff, but we talking about the first album today, because today is the anniversary of that album. So I want to know, what's your favorite song on the debut album, or what you love about it? You know, girl in the hospital. You in the hospital? What? What's going on, Monique? We got to send you some prayers. I hope all is going to be well. Let us know what's going on with you. Yeah, Kyrie, I wonder what she said. I rewinded that part of me. Oh, yeah. Well, now you know. Now you know. She's like, I was going to say that too. You Give Good Love. I used to be singing that song, not knowing what I was singing about, but I was singing it with my chest. We all were. And if you talk to your parents, they probably was singing songs that was inappropriate when they were young. That's just the nature of music, okay? Especially popular music. Kids gonna get into it, you know. The Dreamer, I became a fan with her first album, Me Too, The Dreamer. I was in high school and my brother played her album every day. Shout out to your brother, okay? He probably hooked you even more, okay? Happy Black History Month, and is okay. I got my Black History uh little beaded things. I always wear these. Not always, but I wear them a lot because it symbolizes the black, the blood, the green. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Tamaris. I love the Lord. I love that song too. But we talking about the first album. Y'all got to stay focused. Look at me. And I did a whole 60-minute interview. The Dreamer. I love how Whitney changed up the songs over the years. Me too. She always saying things how she felt, you know, and that's great. That's great. Kevin, I never liked Greatest Love of All for some reason. Okay. Music is subjective. Is All at Once on the album? I think so. It is. And when I said athletic, I mean like in sports form. She can jump high and run fast, but in voice form, just can do it all. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for breaking that down. Because I was like, what you mean? I appreciate that. Yeah, she definitely, then I agree with you. Have you seen the info about, yes, we all have, Matthew. We all have. And just to give you my opinion on it, I don't know what's real or what's not real because people do carry secrets, but it doesn't matter. Sissy Houston is Whitney Houston's mom, just for the mere fact she raised her, you know, and I'm not about to fight it with anybody over is Teresa Graves. It's not like, it doesn't matter. Sissy raised her. That's her daughter. Okay. So that's my point on it. And I really don't have those conversations because I feel like it's disrespectful to Sissy Houston, honestly, especially after all these years. It's not like y'all her family or nothing. You know what I mean? And Whitney's gone. So we're not going to have that over here anyway. Happy Valentine's Day. Teresa Smith, shout out to you for Valentine's Day. Whitney being on Jermaine's album prevented her from getting Best New Artist. Clive tried to fight it, and they did change the rules, but not in time for her to win, and she would have. Oh my gosh. I did remember hearing something like that, Space Signs. That's a reason not to have Jermaine Jackson on the album in the first place. I don't think Whitney needed a duet with nobody on that album. Because, like, what songs did she do with him? Nobody Loves Me and Take Good Care of My Heart. Like, honestly, those could have been left off. Because every time in those duets, guess who I'm waiting for Whitney's part. Okay, even Teddy Pendergrass, as great of an artist as he is, I still was waiting for Whitney's part. Jermaine Jackson, all the songs they sang together, I was waiting on Whitney's part. So she really didn't need nobody else on the album but herself, to be quite honest. You know? LA Rocker, we gonna talk to Tupac and Aretha too? Ooh, I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Oh gosh. But like I said, if you ain't into all that stuff, just don't tune in. But what you're not going to do is come in here and say anything negative because it is what it is. It's for entertainment purposes, or it could be real. It could be to the heart. It could be whatever. And I'm not going to have anybody on the screen when she comes too. It's just going to be all comments, you know, that you can ask questions and stuff. So I'm going to interview her. Then you guys can ask her questions and then we be out, you know. Pooh said, Clive Davis, one thing about him, he was great at promoting his product. He was, even when he brought out Alicia Keys, like he wrote Oprah a letter, and Alicia Keys' first television appearance as Alicia Keys on a show was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, just like Whitney's was on the Merv Griffin Show. So not only does he know how to promote, he also knew how to use and wield relationships to promote those products or artists, whatever. What's Whitney without Clive? The best singer in the world still. More of an R&B-ish artist. I don't know. I don't receive that Clive was the be-all, end-all. Yes, you need to be promoted, but you could promote something all day long and people still not buy into it. So he was a vehicle, you know, but no, what is Clive Davis without Whitney Houston? That's the real question. That's what I believe. Quincy, I will never forget your Whitney Fanatic interview. Me neither, Deontay. Listen, that was one of the best days of my life. And I'm 49 now, and it still remains as one of the best days of my life. So shout out to you for remembering it. And shout out to God and Whitney for making it happen. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day, Quincy. I love you singing it too. Thank you. One thing I'm going to do is lip sync to Whitney and try to sing with somebody who can sing better than me, so I can have a duet with a powerhouse. Okay. I don't care who it is. Kelly Price. The only person I was scared was Whitney, because Whitney would have, listen, Whitney was like sing, like she wanted me to sing. But child, I couldn't even believe I was conscious and not in a fetal position over there with Whitney, because I was so nervous. But yeah. Monique said, I lost my vision for 2 minutes, then found out from a CAT scan that I had 2 strokes about 5 years ago and never knew it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. How are you feeling? You feel fine? Thanks for asking. That's wild. My mom had a stroke about 15 years ago, and thank God she recovered wonderfully. She also was in a hospital many years ago for a diabetic, diabetes and stuff. Like, so what you're dealing with is serious. So I hope that everything turns out right and that you get out that hospital and into your own home and safe. So sending you prayer, healing, recovering vibes, okay? Because that's nothing to play with. Praying for you, and I'm glad that you feel good. Thanks for sharing. Quincy, I wanted that fanatic. Who didn't, Deontay? Everybody wanted it, including me, okay? Everybody wanted it. What made this album classic and legendary is we went to the stores and bought it. Yeah, we went to the stores and bought it, but what made it legendary is her voice. The fact that it was fantastic, and it wasn't like an immediate hit. Like, it grew. Like, it took a slow time to get to where it was. I think that album was on the charts for like a couple of years. Like, it's a different day and time now, but to me, what made it iconic is Whitney's voice. Just the fact that she was singing on it. And Whitney had been singing her whole life, and she was reared by Sissy Houston. So what we heard was perfection. Okay. That's what I think that made it legendary. Yeah, we went out to the stores and bought it. So that was a different time period where we had record stores or whatever. But ain't nobody going to the record store to get it if it ain't fire. Okay. So it's what was on the album that got us out the house to the record store and handing over our money. Saving All My Love for You is one of my favorites. And listen, it's the one she won the Grammy for. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you. Q All at Once. Yeah, that's a banger. That is a banger. That is a banger. I also love So Emotional. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. That's the one I used to sit up and wait for MTV to play. I'm too young, but did Whitney Houston go on tour for her? Yeah, I think she did. It was called The Greatest Love Tour. Yeah, I think she did, Kevin. She did. But you being young is no excuse, sir. It's a whole Google that exists now. You could Google anything. When did Whitney Houston go? Like what you just asked me, you could have Googled that. So being young in an information superhighway that we live in is no excuse for not knowing, because we could get access to everything, versus back then. Listen, I remember going to the library. We had what is the little cards? The library cards, I don't know, but we had to look up in encyclopedias and stuff. There was no internet. So young is no excuse for not knowing. I absolutely agree with you, Quincy. I don't know, because this comment is from 552 and 633. So whatever I said that you agreed with, thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. How I Know was another hit I played. Come on now. Okay, Paula, what I mean by monstrous, how big her voice was. Okay, the way she hit the scene was monstrous. Okay, I loved her voice throughout her career. In later years, I loved the raspiness and tone of her voice. Her voice was unmatched. Didn't need anything by you. I just get defensive, Paula. Don't worry about it. It's just passion for love for Whitney. Okay, I can misinterpret things and take it the wrong way. Whitney had the greatest power and tone to her voice. Yes, she did. I just want to be careful with our words when we're talking about our girl. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody like her. But thank you for explaining it perfectly, Paula. Appreciate you. I also love Take Good Care of My Card. Okay, all right. Her first tour was called The Greatest Love Tour, yep. But he could have Googled that. Googled that, Deontay. I didn't have the internet back then. So when somebody asks me a question, I'm like, Google. Okay. Larry is a true fan. I mean, his house alone says I'm the number one fan, right? I love that clock too. It looked like he did it all himself too. Come on. Q, have you ever seen anyone like Larry in terms of that much Whitney in their house? Yes, I've interviewed them. I've interviewed collectors on here that were way younger than Larry. Like, I've interviewed somebody when they was like 15 or 16 who from the Netherlands, and they got Whitney's clothes. They didn't purchase Whitney's clothes. Like, they could really start like a museum with the kind of stuff that they've got. So yes, I've absolutely seen it before. I have. Wasn't he preaching? That's why I couldn't let him go. I was like, I didn't know he was a life coach and all of that kind of stuff. And he got the gift like the LA Rocker. That was amazing. I'm just happy that he went to Patreon, got the link, came on, and shared a good word on Valentine's Day about self-love and Whitney Houston. He just weaved it all together. Shout out to you again, Larry. Misty says, I love Whitney. I got to see her live in 1987. How lucky are you, Missy? Pure Voice, I appreciate it. I appreciate your content so much. Greatest love of all. And Where You Are two of my favorites. Thank you, Quincy. Well, thank you, Missy. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad you got to see Whitney live. You know, what an amazing thing. There's so many people who only can see Whitney on YouTube. They never got a chance to see her. So treasure the fact that you got to. That's amazing. We got something in common. And do. Q said, Larry. I'm behind on these comments. I'm good. Yep. Larry been gone. I'm like, hey, he's like, everybody like, hey, coach, because I'm way behind. I'm like 30 minutes behind in these comments. So I'm just going to skip through them and get to if you guys have questions or not. David said, one question for you all, but you, Q. Would you want to be as famous as Whitney Houston was in her prime? Hell to the no. Okay. I don't ever want to be as famous as Whitney Houston. Never. Okay. It's like a prison. I can't imagine the stress she went through. I wouldn't want that pressure. Same here, David. And I think she handled it gracefully. Okay. And anytime that she didn't and she wanted people to get away from her, deservedly so. And I feel like Whitney Houston got attention her whole life. She was Sissy's only girl. Okay. Sissy knew she was going to be a boy, but she was a girl. And she was a beautiful little girl. She was the only girl. Sissy wanted a girl real bad. And she could sing in the church. So like, I feel like even before Whitney was famous where the world knew her, I feel like she always got a lot of attention before we knew her. She was beautiful. She was Sissy's daughter. Sissy was a very well-known background singer for some of the greatest of all time, including Aretha Franklin and Elvis. So Whitney always got a lot of attention, you know. But when she became Whitney Houston, the star, yeah, I don't know how she dealt with that either. But, you know, she inspired us all in the process, you know. Q, what a blessing to have Larry on. Wasn't it? Okay. And I love that I seized the moment, that I just went on full blown with the interview and asked him a bunch of questions. Like, that's the spirit of live stream. That's what I love. You know, I love meeting new people. I love people who love Whitney and can say great things about her. So, but Larry had a whole nother word to say too, which, you know, somebody watching this now or in the future might really help them. So shout out to you, Hoop Baller Scoop, for listening, watching, tuning in, and Larry for coming on. Ooh, 10 is 1, so new beginning started. Okay, LA Rocker. Okay. Preach, Larry. So true. Every album is a soundtrack to my life. Yup. Sometimes every song. Okay. What's up, Lance? How you doing? You not late. You right on time. You a community member, okay? You can't be late. Cancer woman. Okay, I'm a Cancer too. I still listen to her music. She's the GOAT. It will never be another, still to this day. My favorite singer of all time. Amen. 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 Ashley said, my favorite song is My Heart is Calling from The Preacher's Wife. That's a beautiful song. It is. It is. Yep. Happy early birthday to Brother Larry. Birthday's on Sunday. Shout out to him. Lance says Whitney gave almost 30 years of her life sharing her gifts to the world. Her music, performances, and movie stands the test of time. Absolutely. That's what I'll be trying to, stay to the mountaintops, What's up, Patricia? Happy Valentine's Day to you. Celebrating our queen. Yes, today, 39 years ago, Whitney released. Let me show y'all again. She released her number one, her debut album. How many years ago? 39. And we talking about it in 2024. She's been gone for 12 years. That's how fantastic Whitney is. Okay. That's how we do. We celebrate the greats, because greatness never expires and doesn't. What's up, Step? How are you? I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. I hope you are well. Thank you for coming through. Plus someone from me. I love me too, Cancer Woman. I love the whole album. Me too. LA Rocker, I Want to Dance With Somebody is one of my faves. Come on. But we still talking about the number. We talking about the debut album, LA Rocker. Get with the program. Y'all keep staying songs that ain't on the first album. We talking about the first album today. Lance says, I wasn't even a thought in my parents' mind when this album dropped, but I know it's an amazing album. It is, because it's the first. Okay? Okay, let me block this. No spam allowed in my chat. Yes, let me get rid of that. Did I block you? And delete the comment. Okay, yes. Get up out of here. Kick rocks. Thinking About You is the jam. We'll have you doing the jam. Not the Janice shoulder nudge, Princess Amani. Oh gosh, that's hilarious. I have the song Someone For Me, You Give Good Love, The Greatest Love of All at Once, and How Will I Know? Come on, Martha Nicole. Bangers. Didn't I just block you? Let me block you again. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Royal Majesty, hello. I'm doing good. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Royal Majesty. Steph said, I can't decide if I have a favorite. You Give Good Love. Although she had sung things before, it was the first time it was her, the voice. But my, I love Thinking About You. Okay. All right. They all blended really well on these duets, though. They did. But like Whitney was taught by a background singer, she gonna blend with anybody well. Okay? She not gonna upstage you. She gonna add to it. It's gonna be amazing. I mean, she probably is gonna upstage you if, because she just Whitney. She ain't trying to, though. It's just gonna come through. But I'm just saying, she didn't need no duets on that first album. Not to me. Yeah. Jermaine Jackson's voice was too thin and too small for Whitney. Yeah, and I heard that they were supposed to do what's that song with Irene Cara and something, Don't Look Any Further. You know that song? I don't know the name of the song, but it's Don't Look Any Further. And they did that, but Whitney's voice was so powerful. They had to go to Take Good Care of My. They had to scratch that because Whitney was just bodying him. Okay. Nobody can pass Whitney because she set the standard. She broke every record in music, and that's all facts. And is. I love the songs You Give Good Love. Okay, Martha, I think I showed that already. Rodney says, I will never get over her passing. Yeah. I mean, listen, we all miss her. 55 weeks it took to make it to that top 10. See, Space Signs, it wasn't a rocket ship to the beginning. It was a slow climb. You know what I'm saying? Whitney was just seeping through the atmosphere, okay? Finally got to number one. But look at the longevity. So I'm glad it took that long. So we all could just, you know what I'm saying, sip on Whitney like a cup of tea. You know what I mean? Angela says, You Give Good Love is my favorite. That's a jam. Whitney came along at the perfect time with the perfect gift and packaging. She took the world by storm. She really did. She's still taking the world by storm. Who were Whitney Houston's peers in 85? Go Google it, Justin, and come back and tell me. You come back and tell me, Justin. Don't sleep on Thinking About You. You know what? I'm going to listen to it again tonight, Terrell, just because you said that and Steph said it as well. What's up, Chef? Fine as wine. Good to see you, sir. We're celebrating Whitney's debut album, which came out on this day 39 years ago. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. I saw Whitney's Greatest Love tour in 1986. Yes, Space Signs. How amazing. Like, to even be able to say that is fire. It's fire. Fire. Y'all really liking Thinking About You. It's a hidden gem. Okay. I respect. I was having a debate with my little cousin. She says Beyonce is as big as Whitney in the 80s and 90s. I told her Whitney was big without social media. End of debate. You would, Rod. Because social media, let me tell you, social media is a beast. We've got stars just from TikTok. We got stars just from YouTube. Like, that's how powerful social media is. So to sell records without it, to sell 1 million records in a week without social media, it's a big deal. So you have to bow down to Michael Jackson, to Prince, to Whitney Houston, because they did it without the internet. And the internet is powerful, you guys. It's powerful. I'm with her, and you are, Steph. I'm gonna have to re-listen to it and see if I'll move it up on the list. Hear something, y'all hearing something I ain't hearing. Just tuning in. What's going on? Good evening as well. Good evening, Gordon. We just reminiscing, or I'm reading people's comments about Whitney's #1 album, her first album, her debut album. That's what we're talking about. And I just want to see what were your favorite songs on that album. If anybody wanted to talk, well, now talk time is over because it's 1 hour and 16 minutes. So I'm about to get off of here in a little bit. I just wanted to celebrate Whitney with you guys once again, specifically the debut album. I'm talking about her first album. Do y'all hear a lot of Sissy in her singing? I mean, Sissy is just the foundation of Whitney. So you're always going to hear Sissy somewhere, But I hear Whitney, to be quite honest. But there's always going to be an inflection of Sissy somewhere, whether it's just in her performance, her delivery, her tone, because she was taught by her. So you ain't going to never, in my opinion, get away from Sissy being, one of the ingredients that made Whitney Houston who she was, because that was her foundation. Sissy literally taught her how to use her gift in a way that would move all of us. She didn't give her the gift. God gave her the gift, but Sissy helped her wield it, and that's a big deal. David, her songs just hit differently. Sending Love from South Africa. Yes. Whitney was one of the first artists to come after apartheid was over. Okay. Her, what is it? Her concert for New South Africa is amazing. So shout out to South Africa. Whitney loved Africa. Is she saving this live? I miss Larry. You know what? I'll keep it up for a minute, but if you join my Patreon, you don't have to miss anything. You can join my Patreon for free, and stuff like this is where I put stuff. It's the home for all my lives. It's the home for my ebook, all things. And I got a Whitney collection. I'm gonna make a video so I don't have to keep saying it, and show you guys all the content that I have regarding Whitney Houston over the years, because I'm an interviewer. So anytime I was talking to somebody who had any type of connection to Whitney, and I wasn't having a brain fart, I would ask them, and I have all of that chronicled. So that is the Whitney collection on my Patreon. And if you're a Whitney fan, just the documentary itself is fire, and you can watch that for free for the month of February. So yeah. Q, didn't you just say the first album? Why can't folks listen? I know, Imani, because it's the internet and it's people. I say the internet, but it's really just people. People don't listen. They don't read either, Imani. But what was her first number one on the Hot 100? And is this the seven straight number one still a record? Yes, I think it is still a record, Imani. I think the first hit was Saving All My Love for You. I think You Give Good Love. I don't know if that quite hit it, but I think Saving All My Love for You was like the first number one on that album. Don't quote me though, because I'm not really good with facts and figures, because that requires homework and memory. But yeah, Imani, people don't be reading. And then even if they do read, people don't care. They want to talk about what they want to talk about. They want to say what they want to say. That's just the nature of people. So I just have to learn how to skip their comments and keep it moving. Because we ain't talking about that. Q, why they not listening to the first album? I know. That's people. That's just people, Ron. People gonna do what they do. High Q, her debut album was her best one. I think all of them were her best, but my favorite is the first because that's when I fell in love. You know what I mean? All of them were amazing though. Well done and happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Wardell. Yes. How Will I Know stays in my rotation. Such a fire song. And is. Crystal, good evening. How was your Valentine's Day? I'm just glad it's over. Oh no, Crystal, you should have watched the interview with Larry. He has some good points on self-love. Sending you love and light. Happy Valentine's Day to you. My Valentine's Day has been fantastic, especially since I get to connect with you and talk about Whitney's first album, which was dropped 39 years ago today. So, shout out to you. And I hope that tomorrow is better, Crystal. How about that? Oh, I don't like reading that. Slow like fine wine. And was and is. What's up, Amanda Davis? How are you? How's Miami? What's good? What's good? Erica says, Quincy, for the love of Whitney, I love how you keep Whitney's music alive. It really feels like she's still, because she is still here, Erica. I love you and thank you. One day I would love to meet you and hug you. Thank you so much. Listen, let's just put it out there in the universe and it'll happen. We'll manifest that thing, Erica. All of us are keeping, Whitney. I mean, first of all, Whitney's spirit, in my opinion, is just everywhere. And there's never going to be a time where there's music. And Wayne, I stole this from Wayne Lindsay. He said, there's never going to be a time when there's music and there's not Whitney Houston. So she was never going to die. Physically, she passed on to the other side, but what she created is going to live forever. Okay. So that's just what it is. And every time we all listen to it, we're celebrating her. We're honoring her, So I'm just glad that I can do something that makes you feel it even more. What a blessing that I could be a vehicle for that. Linnea. Hey, Linnea. Remember on Merv when Whitney was singing? Did y'all see her mom? Yes. Go back and direct the band. They was going too fast. I think they were going too slow. And she was speeding them up. That's why she was doing this. My favorite on the debut album was Saving All My Love for You. Thank you, Linnea. You got it all in. That was a great comment. Yes, I do remember that. And the story that went with it. Space Signs went and did the Google for you. Her peers were Madonna and Janet. Okay. I'm not about to do no homework for nobody. I didn't have Google. They got Google. So being young and I was not born, that's not going to cut it. Not when you can just put in enter. Amanda Davis said, my favorite song from her debut album will be You Give Good Love. And that was a banger. Listen, I love that song. And I love the fact that Robin's in the backs, with her, and just great. Which one was the Whitney album where her hair was slicked back? The first one. Y'all. This one, the one that she signed. Look, this one, the slick back. You want the slick back look. I gotta put this back before I end up cracking it. Dang, so this is like 26 years old. This album. All right. It's the first one. This one. The slick back look. 14 times platinum. It's probably 15 by now. All right. Prince, Michael, and Whitney were breaking through and couldn't even get on. That racism. It's Black History Month. Yes, let's talk about it, Princess Amani. That's another reason why me being on MTV with Whitney Houston was like an even bigger deal. This is a person who they wouldn't even play her videos. They wouldn't play her music. Prince, I think Michael Jackson, I think David Bowie was like on a segment with MTV News or something like that. And he actually brought it up, you know? And when Michael Jackson Thriller came out, like, I think there's a whole documentary on the process of that happening and Michael being on MTV and showing the behind the scenes of Thriller. So I think Michael broke through first. But yeah, it wasn't easy for Whitney to get on MTV just because she was a Black artist. They say it was because it was rock, but no, it was because they was Black, in my opinion. In Black History Month, we could talk about it. All right. So Whitney being on, and when they did put her in rotation, I used to sit there for hours, like 4 hours at a time, waiting for them to repeat the video until I finally got smart and bought a VCR, you know, so I could just record it and watch it whenever I wanted to. Cissy Houston, Kyrie. Cissy Houston was a tough teacher, almost like Maddie Moss Clark. They don't exactly, you know, that's just the era she was in. That's just who she was as a person. But you know what I mean? She raised a beautiful human being, Whitney, who was full of love. So, and what she taught Whitney helped make her be the star that we know and love. So yeah, it wasn't easy. She was not to be played with, but she knew what she was talking about. Okay, because we got Whitney Houston because what Sissy taught her. Let's be real. Let's be real. God was showing off when he made Whitney, and was the angelic voice, the looks, genuine soul, regal stature. Absolutely. To sell 1 million records at a time, we couldn't just hit a button and stream, had to actually leave the house to buy her music. That's amazing on its own. Yeah, that's why don't talk to me about any artist today. Don't talk to me and compare them to those from back then when it comes to selling records, because please, it's like apples and oranges. Like, we can't even have a real conversation about that, because what they did was phenomenal. And I don't even know if it could be done now. You get what I'm saying? Jody Watley would have been Whitney's contemporary too, right? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Linnea, all off topic, on Whitney's last red carpet that you was on, did Chrissy really remember you? She seemed like she did. And then Gary, if you watched him, was trying to get you. So apparently, I mean, listen, I don't know. Like, I didn't have a conversation with them afterwards to say, did y'all really, Bobby Christina, did you really? I don't know. She could have just been reacting to her mother's excitement. I have no idea. I just know that Whitney gave me love, and that's the only reason why I was there. So I'm grateful for that. And Gary, like, you know, he tapped me on the shoulder. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. That's a question I can't answer. That's all. I don't know. Q, you know, Whitney really loved her mom. I wish there was a way we all could reach out and show her some love. Oh, Trish, I know. She's 90, y'all. Can y'all believe she's 90? What an amazing feat. You Give Good Love went #1 on the R&B chart. Saving All My Love was her first #1 on pop chart. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so You Give Good Love was R&B in the Black world, but that was the first one I fell in love with too. I can't remember if it was You Give Good Love, Greatest Love of All, or How Will I Know? And Saving All My Love was up in there too. I don't know which one I heard like first and fell in love with, but it was those 4 that was in rotation. Q, I don't know, sometimes y'all can be on for 4 hours. I know. I can't, that's unsustainable for me in 2024. I can't do that anymore. Like, back to back to back to back. I remember one time I left to get some food, came back, y'all still was on. Monique be keeping you. I know. Because Monique be at work. Well, today she's in the hospital. Sending love to Monique. But yeah. But I mean, the reason I could do it then, we was having so much fun, Kyrie. All the laughing, everybody on the screen, cracking jokes. So, but you know, it's still not sustainable. Like, especially me. Like, I go to sleep early. Y'all, I'm old. And I've been old for a while, like old like tendencies. Like deep down, I'm an old man with socks and sandals. um, I like You Give Good Love more than any of her songs in her whole career. Wow, Arthur, that's a huge statement. But it's a good one. It's a good one. I'm good and Miami is cool and sunny. Just rub it in our faces, Amanda Davis. I love it. I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're good. You Give Good Love was number 3 on the Hot 100 chart and number 1 on the R&B charts. Okay, Martha, thank you. Thank you. I don't know how to read because your name is in Arabic or whatever. We should all link up next year for her 40th anniversary release of her first album. Listen, I did a meetup already. Not saying I would never do it again, but you know what I mean? The fact that I didn't want to do it in the first place, but did it, that was amazing. I ain't trying to mess up my perfect record. It's going to be like a Lauryn Hill album. Whoo. Now when you have fun, you lose track of time. Yeah. And then, just the dynamic of everybody. So yeah. But I listen, last year I had so much fun with everybody. And I still want to stay connected and everything. But, a lot of things in my Studio Q world just didn't get done because it's only one of me. So like once I'm tapped out, I'm tapped out. So that means whatever I had planned to do, I can't do it till I get more energy, because I pour everything into not just lives, but everything that I do. I edit, I interview, I research. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Cancer woman. I remember she said, my friend TUQ, you was blessed to have met a beautiful person. Yes. And like I always like to stress that she wasn't just a beautiful famous person. She was a beautiful person, period. You get what I'm saying? Like you would want to meet a Whitney, in your life, just period. Like not because she could sing, not because she was beautiful, not because of all this, that, and the third, but just because of her kindness. She embodied love. She was authentic. She was kind. It's hard to just meet regular people like that, let alone somebody who's famous and one of the best singers in the world, So you guys, I'm about to get off of here. I only wanted to be on here for an hour, but as you see, it's 90 minutes. Cynthia says racism has something to do with every aspect of America. It does. Like it was built on racism. Like, Black people built this joint for free. Like you can't have slavery build a country and racism not still be here hundreds of years later. It's woven into the pattern. So it just is what it is. Let's see. I'm just looking to see what kind of comments, thank you for being here, there for us. Listen, thank you guys for being here for Whitney. Okay. That's why I'm here. Yeah. Her hugs were like mom's warm apple pie and was. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. The whole point of this live was first to connect with you, say what's up, and also to celebrate. Let me put it on the screen again. To celebrate the 39th anniversary of Whitney's debut album, which sold 14 million copies. I'm sure it's more by now, but it was, as of maybe last year, was 14 times platinum. It sold 26 million around the globe. Those numbers might be higher now, but that's amazing for anybody at any point in their life. And this was Whitney's first album. It's one of the best selling debut albums by a female of all time. It's one of the best debut albums of all time. It's on a list of one of the best, like Whitney's in the top 10. Okay. So it's Valentine's Day, and I had to just come on and share my love for my favorite album, from my favorite artist, with all, of you who love Whitney. So if you're watching this on the replay, put in the comments your favorite Whitney song from the first album, and stay connected so that we can connect and love on each other when it comes to our favorite girl, our favorite singer, you know? Step, Q, you are the best representation that we have. Oh, thank you. Step always be full of love and compliments, and I always appreciate her. And I can't wait till we connect again. We had so much fun. Step, we got to do it again. She was the voice, and you are hers. Oh, thank you so much, Step. Step always be giving love, and I never take it for granted. Thank you, Step. You're always so kind and very generous with your compliments, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Good night, Ashley. Yes, goated album, Lance. Thank you, Q Cancer Woman. Hey, from one Cancer Woman to another, thank you for showing up. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself. So thank you. Not that I don't mind vibing by myself, y'all. It's been me and Whitney for most of my life. So I don't mind doing that. But how much fun and how wonderful it is to also come and connect with you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Dreamer. Thank you. Well, I guess I will go check out your community wall. Well, thank you. Thank you, Trish. Discover, check it out. I got lots of stuff, you guys, and I'm still curating. I'm trying to get through all the Whitney stuff posted and dealt with so that I can get to my other stuff. Like I have hundreds of interviews with other people, you guys. And I got to curate it. Like my goal this year is to put out as much of my own content as humanly possible on all these platforms, including Patreon being the top level. You get what I'm saying? So, but it's very time consuming, you know, and as much as I love going live and stuff, it's time consuming, you know, and you just can't be all places at one time. So when we do connect, oh, well, thank you, Amanda Davis, for chiming in with the amen. I appreciate you too, sis. Good night, Amanda. Good night, Lance. Look, I feel like the Waltons. Some of y'all too young to know what the Waltons. Good night. Good night, Junebug. What was it, Junebug? Good night. They all said good night at the end. Q, you welcome. Yes. Hey, thank you. T-Mac Porsche. Good night and thank you. Your efforts don't. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Greatest love of all. Yes, Tiffany. Yes. And one more thing, ma'am. Let that mask for you. You know what? Whitney would never. She sure wouldn't. She sure wouldn't. T-Mac says, I loved her so much. My wife drew me a picture of her that's on my wall over. Oh, how beautiful. I love when people who love you vibe with Whitney because you vibe with Whitney and gift you with stuff because of your love. That's love. I love that. Q, I remember. Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate you. All right, you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a beautiful evening. Have a great rest of the week. I'll be going live again on Monday with LA Rocker. She's a psychic medium. She talks. We'll be talking to Tupac, Biggie, whoever come in the room. We'll be talking. It'll just be me and her, but you guys are welcome to ask her questions when we get to that portion of the show. That's going to be Monday at 5:30. But, you know, if you're on YouTube, you can get notified. And I'll put something out so you'll know that it's coming, like maybe Saturday or Sunday. All right. All right, you guys. See you on the next. Here go Monique. It don't matter when you come in, Monique is always going to be last. Where you are was beautiful. Yes, it was, Monique. I love where you are. Thank you, Quincy. Have a good night. You too. Blessings to you as well, Patricia. Monique, get well. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you guys on the next live. All right. Or the next post or the next reel. All right. Take care. Shout out to everybody watching this on the replay. Thank you for watching again. All right. Peace.